All right, so we have Browns offensive coordinator Tommy Reese, who took the podium today to address some major things about Shedeur Sanders. Will we hear his reasoning for that blunder of a 2-point conversion call where he took Shedeur Sanders off the field? Kevin Stefanski's been getting blasted for it, as he should. We haven't heard Tommy Reese talk about this yet. Will he speak about this? He had some candid things to say about Shedeur. Let's get into all of it. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification, and hype the video as always. Let's get right into what offensive coordinator Tommy Reese had to say about Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns.
3 days out, how does it really affect your preparation?
I mean, we'll be outside, which obviously the weather's beautiful in Cleveland this time of year too, so helps prepare us there. Look, at this time of the year, you have to account for some of that. We'll see what it ends up being like come game day, and the wind can swirl there, as we know, and it's right off the lake. So we'll see how that affects it. We'll see how the real cold temperatures affect it. But like, our focus is strictly on our preparation and getting our game plan ready to go, and then we'll adjust as need be. But that's not really something that you put into a huge part of the factor during the week, and your focus is really on where you need to be and making sure that our guys are in their playbooks and understanding what we're asking them to do and making sure we're ready to go.
Some of the things that Shedeur showed you in this past game to make you believe that he's taking those next steps forward.
Yeah, I think the improvement, you're looking at all your players, all your young players, to see just gradual improvement on the areas that you're focused on. I thought, he did a really nice job of moving in the pocket, stepping up in the pocket. He had some opportunities to step up and attack the defense, whether it was, throwing the ball on the move. We hit Harold on a good one there in 2 minutes, and we're climbing in the pocket and finding Jerry on the in cut, or climbing in the pocket and running when it needs be. I thought, those are signs of improvement in those areas. I thought operationally we were clean, and that's what you're after with all your players, specifically the young guys, are the things that...
Well, he got this grouping the young guys in together when they ask about a specific person thing. You must have learned that from Kevin Stefanski. They're asking you about Shedeur specifically, bro. We're not asking you to lump in everybody. We're not asking about Carson Schlesinger right now. We're not asking, like, they're asking you specifically. God damn, the apple don't fall far from the tree. This he talk like Kevin Stefanski.
That you're trying to ask them to do, and are the things that you're focused on being accomplished. And credit to him, and credit to Coach Musk for continuing to get him ready to play.
There's one thing that you could pinpoint from the spring to now that you tangibly that you really been improved with Shedeur. What would that be?
Yeah, I think just what I just talked about, really, like the overall improvement of our footwork and our understanding, what footwork applies to what concepts, and our ability to work through progressions. And he's put a lot of work in these last few weeks to get ready to play these games, and you see the steps as he progresses, which is, again, what you're after with your young players, what you're after with all your players is, are they coachable? Are they, applying some of the things that you're trying to ask them to do? And he has shown that, and obviously he played a nice game for us last week and really made some plays that showed those signs that he is improving in those areas.
When he actually specifically talks about Shedeur and answers the questions that they're asking him, I respect the answers that Tommy Reese has in this moment. But the lumping and every time they ask about Shedeur, you want to like bring up a group project, like, bro. Just answer the damn question, man. Like, nobody ask about Harold Fanning right now. Respectfully, love Harold Fanning. They didn't ask about him right now. Like, answer the question, bro.
Maybe it's the same, but the touchdown to Jerry. We talked about how he's been better seeing a route a second time or whatever. Did you see that as an example of that? And what did you like best about that, bro?
Yeah, we ran that play the first play of our second drive. We hit Harold on an in-breaker for like 16 or 17 yards there to our left. It was the same play. We just aligned it a little differently, and they played a different coverage, which would get you to your second or third part of your progression, which is what happened on the second play. And it's always a good thing when you're in the box yelling, but when you're talking about getting to a route and then it happens in that moment, like you and the player are on the same page as you're watching it, and that's what happened on that long play to Jerry, which is, it just shows the the signs of improvement, like our ability to see the coverage, get through a progression, play on time, play within the pocket. The part that should be noted on all those plays where you're getting through them, like our protection was excellent there. And so we were an empty protection, no help on the tackles, and we were able to really stay in the cylinder and deliver a great throw, and then Jerry did the rest for us. But like you said, that was a repeated call in the first half there, and we were able to continue to get through our progression versus a different look.
The second 2-point play, understanding that
Yeah, this is what I want to know. Talk about the damn 2-point conversion when you decided to take Shedeur Sanders off the field after he drove the team down the field for 2 straight touchdowns. Let's hear your answer on that.
guys practice those types of situations in a week leading up to a game. You have certain plays in mind, and you probably go into that drive kind of with that peg in the back of your mind, like if we score here, we're going to do this play.
Yeah.
Are there ever conversations when you get to that point about doing something different, running a different play? There's been a lot said just about like
If
Shedeur
that
was
play
playing
works,
so well and you took the ball.
no, I hear you. Yeah, if that play works, it's a totally different conversation, right? And so, unfortunately, we got to do a better job as coaches to make sure that we can execute in those moments.
If the play worked, well, damn it, it didn't. It didn't. And you took your hottest player off the field. The man had 364 yards and 4 touchdowns, and you took him off the field. Answer the question. I don't want to hear if it works, it's a different conversation. If the sun never come out, it's a different type of day. I don't give a damn. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? If the play works, it's a different conversation. Duh. Like, what are you talking? The shit didn't work. Now you got to face the music and answer the questions, bro. Stop playing games, man.
And you took the ball.
I hear you. Yeah, if that play works, it's a totally different conversation, right? And so, unfortunately, we got to do a better job as coaches to make sure that we can execute in those moments.
Dude, man.
We have, you have a menu of 2-point plays when you go into a game. We rep those every Friday. It's the very last thing we do against our defense. So it's full speed, full reps. The 2-point plays that we ran in the game were the 2 that we repped on Friday. We had success as we rep them. So, we had confidence in that call.
Man, stop taking the damn quarterback out at the goal line, bro. Stop it, bro. Stop this sabotage. Bro, he done. Stop. Just stop. Stop what y'all doing. Stop. We see it. We see it. Stop.
It's been up for probably a month, and we just didn't execute it in the moment when we needed to. And as coaches, you try to, figure out why so that you can get it corrected moving forward. There's a lot of conversations that take place, in those critical moments. We knew early that, hey, if we score on this first 2 minutes, we're going for 2, being down, in that situation, we were going to go for 2. We knew what the first call was. There was a conversation that takes place leading up to the next drive. Hey, this is going to be the call. Let's make sure our guys are prepared for it. And then away we go. That's more about the play than any individual. I think we had confidence in that play. We had confidence in our guys to execute it. And, we got to make sure that we do our job as coaches so that they can. Yeah, I think
It was a dumb play call. I don't care if you practice it. Stop taking the damn quarterback out, man.
It's a really good question. I think as, the 2-point play conversation with it being used more frequently, that menu's increased probably a lot over the last 10 to 12 years. You certainly have low red zone plays that you also kind of tab as these are also backups for 2-pointers if you need to have one. I don't want to go into the specifics on how many we carry, but there is a menu there that get carried over week to week that can be used in those situations, and then there's going to be game plan calls that are used for inside the 5 that can also be used in those situations.
Ask you one other thing on that. Is short yardage package different than 2-point package?
It's a really good question. You don't see – I bet if you studied over the last however many years in the NFL, the success of running the ball in 2-point plays, it's probably pretty high. Especially maybe in those non-last play of the games, like the 2-point plays we were trying to get in. Short yardage and 2-minute are when you say short yardage, you mean goal line? Yeah, anywhere in the field. You get different defenses a little bit in the 2-point play than you would in a short yardage in the field. So I would say there's some similarities, but probably not the exact same menu. There might be one that you say, hey, this works in this zone because of the defense you're getting, but doesn't always carry over the same.
Was Sean supposed to pitch that to?
Yeah, I don't want to get into the specifics on how it should or shouldn't be. I just look at it as, hey, we got to do our job to make sure our players execute the plays when they're called.
Terrible, man.
Would have been executed. There was green grass and
This dude, embarrassing answers for the 2-point conversion and leaving Shedeur Sanders on the damn sideline. Embarrassing, man. But hey, the Browns are gonna be the Browns. I mean, it's a clown show and a circus over there, man. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you think about what Tommy Reese had to say about Shedeur Sanders and that 2-point conversion attempt. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you think. This Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share the channel.